Thanks for coming along here on John's Journal, and we are in Nicholas Cresswell's exciting adventures in the backwoods, and he just got done visiting the giant elephant graveyard in Kentucky, and it's time to move on, and now they're going to have more river adventures. And yes, I should be shooting this from the canoe. I should be, out in the middle of a lake or, on the pond or whatever in a canoe. But sometimes that isn't possible. So we're here in the kitchen instead. June 18th, 1775. Left Bone Lick, got to the mouth of the Miami River to dinner. Nothing but jerked meat without bread. So all they're down to is this smoked buffalo meat. Camped about 8 miles above the Miami. Monday the 19th, got away early this morning. As we have sat at dinner, saw 2 buffalo bulls coming across the river. When they were about halfway over, 4 of us got into a canoe and attacked them in the river. The rest went along the shore to shoot them as soon as they came ashore. The river was wide, and we had a fine diversion fighting them in the water. The man in the head of the canoe seized one of them by the tail, and he towed us all about the river for half an hour, and we shot him 8 times and let him get ashore, and he ran away. Never killed him. They were tough animals. We shot him, our comrades ashore very angry with us, and they had a great right to be so. Passed the mouth of the little Miami, in great fear of Indians. Saw a black wolf pursuing a fawn into the river. The fawn we caught, but the wolf got away. My company quarrels amongst themselves, but behave well to me. Camped late in the evening. Tuesday, June 20th, 1775. Very cold last night. Northwest wind. Camped in the early of the morning. No, early of the evening. Of course you don't camp in the morning. Cold in the night. This is the next day. Got up La Falls Fort. Or no, there seems to be a misprint here. Got up the fort's falls. This only a very smart rapid, scarcely perceivable when the river is high. Current very strong. Our people weary. Not able to make more than 20 miles per day in general. Camped early. Thursday, June 22nd. Proceeded up the river, strong current. The river is 20 feet lower now than it was when we went down. Friday, June 23rd. Saw a bear cross the river, but did not get a shot at her. Got up to Great Buffalo Lick, where we intend to kill some more meat. Ours is almost done. All the hands much fatigued, and the scarcity of provisions makes them very quarrelsome. They pay some respect to me, and I have hitherto prevented them from fighting. Pleasant weather. And then Saturday, June 24th. This morning set out to the lick without breakfast. The reason we had nothing to eat. 3 of us stayed at the lick till afternoon waiting for the buffaloes, but saw none. When our out hunters came loaded with meat and informed us that they had killed a buffalo about 5 miles off. Set out, found it, loaded ourselves, and returned to the camp, but never so much fatigued before. Having already experienced the want of victuals, was willing to guard against it for the future. I believe I exerted myself more than I can bear. It is judged by the company that I brought between 70 and 80 pounds of meat, exclusive of my gun and shot pouch. To add to my distress, my shoe soles came off, and I was obliged to walk barefoot for 6 miles. Found myself very unwell. Shot a polecat. I don't know why you would shoot a polecat. One of our company missing. All the rest, except Tilling and myself, are going this evening, as they expect to be killed by the Indians. But I think he has lost himself in the woods. Very arduous task to persuade them to stay, but they all expect to be killed before morning. Whew. So I don't know where they've gotten news and why they're so worried about Native Americans right now. I mean, they were, and then seems like their concern went away, and now they're all concerned again. Maybe it's just because it's a dangerous area, more heavily trafficked than normal, and they're just not making very quick progress. Maybe it's this want of provisions. Maybe this lack of food is causing extra anxiety. Here he has this main danger of what happens when your equipment gives out on you, and your shoes, very, very important. And he doesn't have the ability, apparently, or the, nobody is along there saying, well, you need to replace your shoes with moccasins, or at least he can't. So, he's walking all this distance, and, his shoes soles have come off, and he doesn't have time to stop and repair them. They are at the raggedy edge. He probably would have, repaired his shoes earlier. Now he doesn't have the time to do that. And he doesn't have the time, maybe the energy, the thought, who knows at this point. Maybe not, I imagine somebody would have the skill along with them out of this fairly large group to either make moccasins or to repair the shoes. But that doesn't happen. This whole section with the wild in the river buffalo hunt is a crazy section. They paddle out to these swimming buffalo. They hold on to the buffalo and shoot it, and it drags them around the river. The buffalo could be very difficult to kill. In fact, the kill shot tended to be in the back of the neck, and yet that's the one spot they're able to shoot this buffalo, and they still can't kill it. So they've got a tough, the main meat source is not an easy animal to deal with. And then, what do? You got this giant, huge buffalo. You got to figure out, how to butcher it in the wild like that. And it's no wonder that, they killed this buffalo 5 miles away, and then their trouble is, how do we get this meat back to camp? And, he says he's carrying 60 or 70 pounds. That's a heck of a lot of meat to carry for 5 miles. I think there's a lot of, a certain amount of exaggeration that we get in here. Like, oh, we probably walked 20 miles before we found Big Bone Lick. Well, I doubt it was 20 miles tramping through the wilderness. It would be hard enough to just do that by foot in the first place. But that's what it feels like to him, and we can imagine that exactly. So it's getting a little scary here. They're scared of Native Americans. They're scared of running out of food. Their equipment is starting to fail. We find out later on that a lot of their guns aren't functional anymore. There are only a few functional guns left. So they're kind of up against it, and they have not been out that long. He hasn't been. Let's see, June 24th, and he started off in April. So really, he's been about 2 months in the wilderness, and he's just about had it. All the food is gone, and the equipment is giving out. And I think their nerves are giving out. He's just out of energy and really starting to feel it. I can't imagine what it would be like to say, no, I'm going to be out for a year or 6 months. It's got to be tough. It's got to be very, very difficult for you. So very, very neat section of this. And I really haven't bothered to connect these last 2 episodes up with other journals because they speak for themselves. We don't really need a lot of cross-reference here to get the idea that this is difficult situations, exciting, at times, and neat, seeing things that you've never seen before. But again, it'll probably just wear you down. He's going to get back. We only have a few more days here where we're in this tough, no support kind of wilderness situations. And he finally, kind of gets back to civilization. We'll probably speed through the rest of the book because after we get out of that, there's another section where he goes into the wilderness. And that's interesting in and of itself, has its own dilemmas. But the latter half of the book is just kind of him whining, and so we'll buzz through that and kind of go on to the next journal pretty soon. But anyway, thank you so much for being the amazing support you are. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.